a little driving music to finish out our dawning here. Courtesy of FM 88.1 Smile FM.
Coming up for you in 3 minutes. John and Melissa Helser now on Smile FM.
I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies.
Yeah.
I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah.
Give him the praise. Come on, saints, ain'ts, and can'ts. Lift up your voice and sing.
latest news headlines from Smile FM to keep your family safe and informed.
The Winter Olympic Games are returning to Salt Lake City, Utah in 2034. The city last hosted the Winter Games in 2002. President Biden gave a speech from the Oval Office last night on his decision not to accept the Democratic nomination, but gave no medical reason for doing so. A $23.4 billion education budget for fiscal year 2025 has been signed by Michigan's governor. It includes free pre-K and community college tuition. 3 resolutions.
And watch, they're going to be giving that money to rich people. Watch.
In community health centers. Meridian Township officials hosted an informational session on a proposed community and senior center for the public to learn about the project. Statewide time saver traffic. No major reported incidents. Updates every 15 minutes with statewide time saver traffic.
Michigan's positive hits.
Look, y'all politicians are not ignorant. Y'all know exactly what's going on out here. How people that are well off are taking the tuition money for private school that's been allotted for folks. You know, they done came up with some type of way to make it so that people who have the ability to pay the money is getting the tuition versus the people that it was instituted for. Like, come on. This is another elitist ploy, how they're stealing and raping Americans. We're the real Americans, not them. They think just because they own all the money that they are America. No, it's the people, the working people. The working people are America. If it wasn't for the working people, there would be no America, because nothing would move. Everything would stop. So how do y'all keep discounting the working people? How do you do that? I don't know, but that's what they keep doing. Just Google it. Google what has the Republican Party done for the working American ever. Google that, or whatever it needs to be for the computer to understand, and see the answer you get. Why would you support a party that does not support you? I tell you what, all the news channels may be reporting somewhat fake news when it comes to the larger issues, but when it comes to the Republican Party, everybody seemed to be unanimously, except for their personal station, reporting that these guys are fakes, frauds. It's a unanimous decision that the Republicans have never done anything directly that benefit the American people. Point blank, period. You can try to dance around the issue if you want, but the fact of the matter is they haven't. Look it up if you don't believe me. And then you can sit up and say all you want about the conservative aspect of it. Okay, fine. I understand that too. But I'm not going to make my life harder. I'm not going to make my life harder to try to force people to do what they don't want to do. That's all it is. Like banning abortion. I'm not for abortion. Not at all. But when it comes to voting for the Republicans just because they're going to ban abortion and they're going to make my life a living hell, can't get ahead, turn me into a slave, what sense does that make? How is the Lord pleased by me putting a fascist party in power? How is the Lord pleased with that? Explain that one to me, because I don't understand that at all. Not at all, partner. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? God is not pleased with the wicked being put in power. How can you twist things around and sit up and say, oh, well, I'm going to vote my conscience with God? Well, that wouldn't be to put the person in power that's neglecting to do the weightier matters, like ensuring that people are taken care of. Because people can make the right decision and not have abortions, not get pregnant if you don't want to have a baby. You can't force people to live right. It has to be freedom of choice, free will. So what type of dictator are you, working American, that's voting Republican? You're a dictator, trying to force people to do this and force them to do that. Nah, man. And it's at the peril of your own quality of life at that. They got you so brainwashed that you sitting up believing you have to live rough in order to make other people do the right thing. That's your duty as an American. Why aren't these rich people living rough? Huh? They don't even want to do their part and pay taxes. That's the most un-American thing you can do, not pay taxes. And they do that all the time. And you got a nerve enough to try to tell me how American I am? Man, you better get out of here with that nonsense. I'm not a child in the mind. You can't trick me like you got these little pansies that follow you. You can't trick me. I understand the truth. And I understand that you are the greater evil. And the greater evil always must be vanquished first. We can deal with the lesser evil in lesser forms. But the greater evil, we gotta vanquish them as soon as possible, because they are a threat to everyone's survival. You better bet it. As a regular person, they are a threat to you. They are not on your side. They are not for you in the least. So why would you support them? It's ludicrous. And I don't mean the rapper. It's absurd. You talk about people calling you ignorant, slow, dim-witted. That's exactly what you are when you vote Republican, because they have done nothing to earn your vote. Nothing at all. They earning it on trickery, fraud, and lies. Yes, you have to double check the facts of news these days. But when it's a Republican speaking, you have to triple, quadruple check it. Because they are liars to the heart. And if you don't believe it, check Google. Ask Google what the Republican Party has done for the American people and see the answers that you get. I bet you get a unanimous vote. Nothing, except from the outlets that they control. Of course, they're going to spread that propaganda like they're doing so much. Like, for instance, Trump touting about giving HBCUs $85 million out of $255 million. Who has the greatest number of minority schools in the country? African Americans. But that wasn't even a quarter of the money, was it? Yeah, it was around a quarter of the money. Around a quarter of the money that they gave people. And we're the majority of the minority. That just shows you what they think of you. Black is a universal term for nothing. That's why they could justify enslaving our people, because they feel like we're nothing. Are nothing, mean nothing, never will be anything. And it's sad that the world feels that way. If you don't believe it, go to YouTube and look up the doll test. Look up the doll test. And after you watch the doll test, then watch A Class Divided. And you will learn 2 important things. From the Dahl test, you will learn that black is a term not to be proud of at all. It's a term to be disassociated with, because there's nothing good about it. And the second thing you will learn is that anyone at any time can be a racist. Class divided will open your eyes. We can stop racism. We can. Watch those 2 things and you will understand how racism is created by man. It's not something that even supposed to exist. We created it. And it's so sad. So sad. But it doesn't have to be that way, folks. Let's put an end to it. Let's stop it now. Okay? The Lord will be proud. Peace and blessings.